Content warning, y'all. We have lots of fun making this podcast, but remember, we watch a lot of R-rated films, use language that reflects that, and joke about heavy topics to create levity around these themes. If that doesn't feel safe or could be triggering, please take care of yourself. We want you to have fun listening too. This also means we might not be suitable for children. Oh yeah, and we spoil the end of all the movies we pod about. Thanks for listening.
Please tell me now.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something on your mind? Is there something I should say to make you go away? That's not the words at all. But maybe next year. Maybe no go. Those are the words. Hey!
Hi there. We're doing an episode.
Here comes an episode. For your fapisode.
Every time I listen to a episode, I'll like hear things and I'll be like, then I'm like, oh, we have to make sure to do whatever, and then I'm like, do we even do that anymore?
Yeah.
Like, do we even introduce ourselves
No.
anymore? I'm so stressed out, y'all. I can't keep track of shit.
I can't keep track.
I can't.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
For that. So yeah.
I mean, our names are in the title of the
but
podcast. So.
which one of us is Keith? You know?
Yeah, I like some mystery.
That's fair.
1992's Captain Ron.
Yeah, we're talking about Captain Ron, which after we were done watching this, just to skip to the end of the episode, after we were done watching it,
Spoilers.
we both were like, oh, that was way less offensive than we thought it was going to be. I'm not saying it was inoffensive. It's just like surprising.
No, there's definitely some subtle racism.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and it's
I don't even know if that's that subtle.
Exactly. Racism. Yeah, there's definitely stuff in it, but like I thought it was gonna be way worse than it actually was. Like I thought it was just gonna be like blatant the whole time, like horrible behavior, but it wasn't really. Like
True.
I even thought it was gonna be like he was gonna be a lot creepier than he was.
Yeah.
'Cause like once he
he
being
sees, Captain Ron.
Yeah, Captain Ron. Like, you know, he like gets on the ship and then like he immediately sees like the daughter and he's like, ooh, she's a looker. But he doesn't like.
Yeah.
He says like to Martin Short, he's like, oh, your wife's really hot or whatever, and he's like, oh, that's my daughter, and he's like, ooh, and then that's it. Like he's not like.
With the daughter. Anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't like. It's not like him like constantly trying to hook up with the daughter, being like, oh, you're almost 18, right? Like nothing like that. Like it's
he's
like,
no Beetlejuice,
right? It stops. Like he's just like, oh, this is your wife, and then he like is attracted to the wife, like you know? And so not to say like, oh, so it's fine. It's just like I was expecting like him to be like a creepy predatory person, and I was like, oh, he's
they set it up that way.
Yeah.
And if it were another movie, it would be that way. You know what I mean? Like there are plenty of movies like that. And you get shots where he's like trying to look down shirts or up skirts or just staring at asses, but
all over 18, presumably.
Yeah.
Like no one.
And he never invades anybody's space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get several shots where he's like behind Mary Kay Place helping her steer or whatever. And then you get Martin Short
getting all jealous.
Feeling suspicious or worried. Mm-hmm. But that's as far as it goes, really?
Yeah. Which I was honestly like, Like, there's not, like, an active plot of him, like, trying to hook up with, like, every girl he
Thank
meets.
Christ.
I know. Or, like, him, like, there's not, like, a weird tension thing between him and the wife. You know, like, obviously he's attracted to her, and obviously, you know, he does things like stare down her dress and shit like that, you know. And I'm not saying that's cool or whatever. Like, you know, whatever. But, like, there's no, like, weird sexual tension between them or anything like that. It's just, you know, it's just him being like, oh, titties.
Right.
We've all been there.
Amen. So, Captain Ron.
Yeah.
Is Kurt Russell, played by Kurt Russell.
Yes.
Already mentioned Martin Short plays Martin.
I know.
Mary Kay plays his wife.
Whose
name is Wifey.
I think just
Catherine.
Ball and Chain is what she's called.
Yeah. Then we got the two kids. Benjamin, played by Benjamin Salisbury. Who was on The Nanny. And Meadow Sisto plays Caroline. And then we got some people of color that
Barely.
don't have names.
Yeah. You know. It starts out with some music.
Oh.
And immediately he said, oh boy, you can tell it's going to be good already.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like steel drums plus a cappella.
Oh, God.
Has a real island flavor, you know?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Fortunately, almost all of the islands that they visit are made up.
Yeah.
And some of it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like St. Hog.
Ted's Island?
Ted's.
Well, you heard of St. Croix?
Yeah.
We're going to the island just to the left of it.
What's it called?
Ted's.
And Saint Pomme de Terre.
Yeah.
Saint Potato. Anyway,
Which
go on. If you want to do a...
Which...
Oh, also, just kidding. I don't want you to talk. That's a joke. Directed by Tom Eberhardt, who also directed Night of the Comet was the only thing I... Oh, and he was a writer on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, we should watch that.
You know, I've never actually watched it.
I loved that movie as a kid.
The writer, the director, Tom Eberhardt, is credited for screenplay. The story by John Dwyer. His only other credit is production manager on a short documentary in 1979 called Everyone Deserves a Forever Home, where it's about adopted African Americans telling their story.
Oh, wow.
Stories. In case you were confused by my change of... All right. Thanks.
So the movie starts with Martin Short walking down the street, and when he gets to his building, there's a broken window on the ground, and he looks up, and
there's just shattered glass.
Yeah, just shattered glass all over the ground. And yeah, there's like tape around it to like keep people out. And they're like trying to clean it up. And then, and I was like, are they implying suicide? Yeah. And they say when he goes inside, he's getting a coffee or whatever. And you can hear behind him, they're like, oh, a window just fell out. They were like, what if someone had been there? Someone could have gotten killed. And I was like, is that something that got inserted in afterwards because that suicide joke was too dark?
Right.
I was just like,
I mean, there wasn't anything besides broken glass. It's not like...
Yeah, it wasn't... But it was roped off. I mean, I know that they would have to do that. But so, for me, it was like slightly ambiguous in that sense that it was like roped off.
Because I feel like it's police barricades specifically.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, it was very confusing
when otherwise
to me.
You could just sweep up the glass.
Yeah. Also, yeah, why would it be there? Also, they're like, oh yeah, it fell when no one was around, and I'm like, then why hasn't it gotten cleaned up yet? And also, like, what? Like, a lot of that didn't make sense to me, but it felt like a suicide joke.
Well, there was
that fell flat.
Yeah, I know. It was originally it's a Disney Studios movie. It's out on.
Oh wow!
It was released by Touchstone, which is a Disney, one of the Disney studios, but it's not.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not alright. They were going to try to release it just as Disney.
Oh wow!
But I guess by the final edits, they decided it was too adult.
Mm. Yeah.
There is one F word.
Mm-hmm.
And it's PG-13.
Titties.
Really?
Yes.
When?
Absolutely. When they're in the shower.
Oh.
Yeah. You'll have to go back when you're taking screenshots. Nips and everything. This is what I'm saying. I wrote down, like, where did I write it down? Like, it's weird how, like, when I was younger, like, if there were titties in a movie for, like, even a flash, I caught them, and I used to watch this movie, and I used to like wait for her to, and I'd be like, those are titties, and I was just like obsessively would watch them. Weird how I am gay.
Well, now you hate breasts, so it's very strange.
Weird how I
180.
But I will say this. This is like not about Captain Ron. This is about
titties.
Sort of about
Big Mommy Milkers. .com.
No, I'm saying being like, oh, I'm queer. Oh, I'm a lesbian. No, I'm just queer. No, I'm not a woman. Oh, maybe I'm a guy. Now I'm like, wait, is liking girls gay or not? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm confused. And I know
hey,
that sounds, yeah, I know that it's like, I know that it seems like I'm making a joke, but legitimately I'm like, wait, can I say I'm gay if I like a girl now that I'm using he pronouns? No? Wait. Is it gay? What's gay? Like, I'm like, what's gay?
What's gay?
I don't know what's gay anymore.
How do I go to gay?
Literally. So I'll be like, oh yeah, I like titties. I'm gay. And then I'm like, wait, shit. But I'm like, oh, wait, wait. I'm very confused. I'm very confused. So listeners, please tell me.
Right in.
Am I gay?
Call in. RZ's gay.
On Apple, please leave a review to tell me whether or not I'm gay, or better yet, how gay I am. The gayer I am, the more stars.
Yes. And the more hate speech you use, the better.
I don't think saying that I'm gay is hate speech, though. You are a gay is not hate speech to me.
What if I whisper?
Anyway, but yeah.
You know he's gay.
She? That's hilarious. You know she uses he pronouns.
Oh, God. Isn't it funny how I misgendered my partner as a joke?
But it's that thing I showed you where it's like my pronouns are this, unless a joke would make them funny.
Yes.
Unless it'd be funnier to misgender me.
Yep.
Also, it's like, it's a thing where like, it is hard because like, if someone, like, I do think it's funny that we call each other girl. Uh-huh. And like, it's something that we just do.
You cut it so short. You even finished that do.
I don't feel like I did. I feel like I was like,
do. Go on, girl.
See what I'm saying? But like, if someone hears you call me girl, they're gonna be like, "That's so unfortunate, Mom.
No, they'll probably be like,
her
that's so
partner
romantic.
can't use the correct pronouns for him." Also, like, I do this thing where, like, if I'm talking about myself, if I'm like telling a joke where I'm talking about myself from someone else's perspective, I always use she pronouns because I assume that's what people do for me. But then I'm like, wait, no, I don't want to, like, that's not going to come through as a joke because people are going to think I'm just calling myself she when I'm saying, like, I'm making fun of someone calling me she by, does that make
She-I-self.
I mean,
pronouns are hard.
What's funny, it's true. I do think pronouns can be hard. And I'm not saying that in a, like people will be like, it's not difficult. I think it is because I fuck up pronouns.
It certainly can be. Especially if you've known someone for a long time.
Yeah.
It changes.
That's true. That is true.
You gotta unlearn.
But also, I fuck up pronouns for cis people. Like, I don't, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. Like, people be like, oh, it's
You're not special.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not a thing. Like, people be like, it's not difficult to get someone's pronouns right. And I'm like, actually, for me, it is. Like, I am a Tarns, and I cannot get anyone's pronouns right, no matter if they've changed or not. Like, I'm always fucking up people's pronouns. It's one of the reasons why I use they so much, because I feel like if it's like, even if I do this thing, where if I'm telling a story and I'm quoting someone, so I'm like, Keith said that she said, I'll just be like, she said this, or I'll be like, she said this. Like, I can't, like, because like, I will not use it because it's like my brain shortcuts and is like, just say that she said this. So I'll be like, she said whatever. And then I'm like, no, that's not. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, my brain doesn't, like. Also, another thing I do, and I hate this, it took me forever to figure out what the fuck was going on about this. If someone is passing, basically, and I don't know that they're trans, and I'm using their correct pronouns, never had an issue with it, and then they tell me that, somehow it comes out they're trans, I'm like, oh, I had no idea. My brain's like, now you have to start using
a different
pronouns because I react to it as though they've just come out.
Right.
And I'm always like, it took me forever to realize that was what was happening, because I'd be like, I know that, but I'd be like, in my head, I'm literally like, you fucked up. Like, if I use their correct pronouns, I'm like, you fucked up. And I'm like, oh, I mean, oh, fuck, no, shit, fuck. Like, it's this whole thing where I begin to panic and use the wrong pronouns, not because I find out that they're really whatever. It's because my brain's like, oh, they've just come out.
Right.
And like, I recognize them as the gender that they are. So like, I can't, it's like this weird fucked up processing thing for me where I'm like, could you have just not told me?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I'm just outing myself as a bad person, but whatever. Like, I'm just saying, like, I do think that sometimes, like, also, like,
what's the pronoun for a bad person? Since you just outed yourself. Get it? Jokes. What happened?
Oh, I think it's music. I thought something, I don't know, I heard something happening, and I thought that something was like.
What's happening?
Yeah. Anyway. But, like, I do think, like, if you are calling me girl or whatever, it's really funny to me, and I don't have an issue with it. But, like, if someone else is like, she's over there, I'm like, fucking asshole. Like, I don't know. There's a time and a place.
Well, the thing is, it was already a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Before you.
I mean, well, we call
pronouns.
each other that. Yeah. We call.
We also have. I started calling you buddy a lot.
Oh yeah, once I like officially like changed my pronouns. Keith, it started happening. Yeah, it started happening especially on walks. You'd be like, "Hey, buddy," and I'm like,
on walks.
Yeah, we would go on walks, and you'd be like, "Hey, buddy," and And like I didn't really. I mean, like of course I was like, okay, whatever. But like, you were like, I don't know why that started happening, and then I just started paying attention, and it's funny to me. And so, yeah, I don't know why.
You're getting friend zoned.
No.
Hashtag no homo.
Your whole like, am I gay?
Yeah.
That was funny.
Thank you. I had fun.
Yeah.
I just like that your friend was like, strap in.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever. We took we took a total detour, but now I'm just like, is titties gay? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't.
R titties gay. Letter R. Because it's a subreddit. R tits gay.
So someone Reddit is just tits gay?
Yeah. Well, that's the title of the
No, I know.
the subreddit, not a username.
No.
Users are you/ you. Tits are gay.
Are tits gay? It was Oh wait, tits are gay? Wait, I'm confused. Anyway, I don't use Reddit.
Mary Kay plays. Mary Gay Harding. Master Antonio. Mary Gay plays is pretty good though. It's like a daytime soap.
Fuck. I was gonna say I don't understand Reddit. Reddit is something I've never used. I've seen it. I know what it looks like to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I've never navigated it. I don't have an account or username. Or
I have an
like
account. I even have the application on my smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely use it. I have rarely used it. I've had an account for some years. It is useful. Here's why I have an account. Because when I'm searching for something very specific, like how to get past a level on a game,
yeah,
or how to recreate a specific recipe.
yeah.
If I do a search and then things will be on Reddit, and then it's nice that I have an account. But I don't spend time on there. It's almost, it's like a yellow flag. Let's say it's not quite a red flag. It's like a yellow flag when someone tells me they spend a lot of time on Reddit.
Well, here's the thing that I found out. It's a great tool for advertising. A lot of people.
Reddit is?
Yeah, folks that do like online. I'll just say sex work. Will use Reddit. Well, the joke.
I don't know why you're using a euphemism.
Thank you. They'll use Reddit as like a way to like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is wild. I don't know if it's still allowed, you know what I mean. But like, yeah, a lot of people ask for help with navigating how to promote themselves on Reddit.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, or like we'll be like, hey, but like I've heard people will be like, yeah, I only have success because of Reddit. That's a confusing thing for me.
No, I mean I think it can be useful.
I get that. I was thinking about advertising like my book and stuff.
Yeah, I tried.
There,
I was going to say I tried for a little minute. I tried promoting some music on there, but
that's the thing. You got to know specifically how to do it and what to, and it's so confusing to me. And I don't know anything about Reddit, so I'm like,
Well, that's the thing. I think it only works because if you find the precise niche.
Yeah.
Like that's its benefits and its weakness.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's enough about Reddit.
Okay, so once Martin Short gets into the building, he gets in a crowded elevator and a bike messenger. My favorite part from this point on is that Keith just started guessing things about it. And like the bike messenger, he's like, it's Kurt Russell. Is that Kurt Russell?
Well, because they clearly make the thing with the bike messenger is you see
right. You don't
almost
see his face.
given equal screen time. It's like cutting back and forth between Martin Short's commute and the bike career, like cutting through traffic and then coming into the building. And they make it it's very clearly that their face is obscured.
Right.
Like they're wearing like a full-on motorcycle helmet with the face shield and stuff. So I'm like, it's going to be a reveal.
Yeah.
And then it's not.
It wasn't. Yeah. But then he hands him an envelope and you're like, divorce papers. And then it was not divorce papers. And
I was like, good news.
It was just so funny because you just kept doing it. And you did that. We were watching Wings the other night and you kept doing that. I don't remember you just kept
I've been doing that a
guessing
lot
things.
with Wings.
And it's so funny to me. You were like, oh, it's going to be this. It's going to be this. Oh, that. And I'm like, no.
Oh, it was the one where Brian saves the flight.
Oh, yeah. You were like, it was really Joe. And I was like, it's not. And you were like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to be wrong.
I know.
Sometimes.
But also, there's the bike messenger comes into the elevator and he's like, and chewing gum. And I'm like, and this goes back to Wings again, because I feel like Brian is constantly chewing gum.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this was like a thing in the 90s where like characters would just be like, if you were trying to convey that they like were careless or like didn't give a shit, they were chewing gum. Yeah. And this was such a trope in the 90s of That's just true. Like people, it was probably the 80s too, but like people just chewing gum. Like it was like, someone's carefree or someone like does like shirks responsibility when they're chewing gum. And it's like, oh my fucking God. Like it's wild. It's wild to me. Yeah. And like the daughter, I'm just blowing through my notes. The daughter, what is it? Caroline? Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely no feelings whatsoever as a kid about her either.
Glad to hear it.
Did not have tummy feelings at all.
You know what the tummy's connected to?
The gummy.
That makes me think we also last night started watching
Yes.
I'll Escape from the Dark. What's it called?
Something.
And You Will Know Me by the Trail of the Dark?
I'll be
Gone in the Dark.
Yeah, I'll be gone in the dark. Yeah.
Which is a scene where she is describing like pouring herself a glass full of minibar gummy bears.
Oh God.
That slayed me.
I know. That whole thing was, yeah. That whole scene's description was wild. I'm farting a lot, so I hope that comes around.
It won't.
Damn it. I just farted like 15 times.
15 times?
I was going to say 12, and then I changed it to 15 to be more accurate.
6.
2, 6, 5. When my niece was like very little and did not understand the concept of time, but knew that it existed, and like, like people would be like, give me 2 minutes or like, give me 5 minutes or whatever. Yeah. She would always, every single time, and she would move her fingers, like not to correspond with the actual numbers, just like move her fingers as though
Mimicking
she knew. Yeah.
Counting or something?
Yes. And she would be like, give me 2, 6, 5 minutes. Every time. It was 2, 6, 5. 2, 6, 5 minutes. And it was so cute because
what is going on?
Yeah, she would like, you'd be like, okay, we need to go, and she'd be like, give me 2, 6, 5 minutes. Or she would tell you what time it was by being like, it says 2, 6, 5 minutes. And you're like, okay, it does not say that. It says it's 3:45, but
it can never say that.
Right. But yeah, she loved to say 265 for whatever reason. A little weirdo. She's a full-grown adult now, which is always really
illegal.
It's always uncomfortable when like a child grows up and they're an adult, and you're like, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, they should just die before they get old. talking about my generation.
No, it's just so weird. Like,
Dude, my niece has 3 kids.
Yeah, well, she's like my age, isn't she?
She's 2 years younger.
Pervert.
I didn't get her pregnant.
Ew.
Yeah. Ew. How dare you? I have a question.
I can't wait for you to cut that out.
Cut
it
out.
You said
My favorite kind of your notes.
I have a lot of.
This is why I quit taking notes for myself.
You said Kurt Russell as Bill Pullman.
Thank you.
Which,
I was proud of that.
Again, I always want to say Bill Pullman. It's this thing that I do. It's this thing that I do. It's like,
guys, you ever do this thing? Like, we call Bill Pullman Pill Bullman.
No, I do it with Jim and Pam. I call them Pim and Jam.
Yeah.
Like, not on purpose. I'll be like, Pim and Jam. I fucking hate Pim and Jam. No. I mean, I hope at least one of my friends.
I thought it'd be funny.
It was funny. I wrote also down.
Oh!
Who would believe that we filmed these in the morning before we've had any sort of
I don't know that anyone
substance.
would believe we filmed them.
Oh no.
Oh no. Keep going. I'm going to get some coffee.
Fuck off. No one would believe we filmed them. Oh, joke's on me. I'm dumb. This thing also happens. Now I sound like I've been crying. I mean, kind of because I have, but if I laugh like too hard, I guess because like it makes all the fluids from my body drain into my throat.
Who's the pervert?
I start like coughing, like I start like wet coughing.
Oh shit! Is it COVID?
It also happens, well, after when I'm performing certain oral sex acts on people with vaginas. If I'm in a certain angle,
You start drowning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Amateur.
I know. I don't know why. It's wild. What was I saying though? Oh, I wrote down also. This movie is both before and after Clifford.
Right.
Because it came out before Clifford, but it was filmed after. Because Clifford was it 90 or 91?
Wait, say that again?
It was filmed after Clifford.
Was filmed.
Yes.
Okay.
But it came out
was released before
Yeah,
Clifford was released. Yeah, okay.
Right? Because
Yeah.
Clifford filmed in 90?
90, I think,
Or
and then
91.
released in 96?
No, 94.
94, okay.
I cannot imagine after the year 94 anyone giving a green light to that movie. I can't imagine it got greenlit in 94 to actually be released.
This is not related to this film in particular, but I
Oh.
want to come clean about the fact that I'm not into comics or anime.
Okay.
I wasn't into comics as a young person.
Same. I thought comic book art looked cool, but it was so it's similar to me, not to cut you off, just saying this is how I feel about comics. Comics are similar to me in the same way Dungeons and Dragons is intimidating to me. Wait, I think I said that weird, but whatever. They're intimidating for the same reasons. Okay. Meaning, I feel like there's so much to learn about them that I don't want to get started because I'm just always going to feel like I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I'm always going to feel a little bit behind. And that is, there's nothing about that that's interesting to me. Oh, please let me sign up for this thing that I'm constantly going to be left out at. Plus, you know, being an AFAB person, no matter what pronouns I'm using, I'm going to get hounded for whatever.
Yeah.
You know. I'm sexually attractive, conventionally. I know. So I just get questioned.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where there's...
Oh, you're really into this?
Tons of gatekeeping.
Yeah. You're really into this? Tell me the 4 ways that this character had bullets in their butt or something, you know? It's like, oh God, I don't care.
And like the fucking oh shit. What are the Equestronauts episode?
The Equestronauts?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All I could think of was Brony.
Right. Weird how you made that connection.
I know.
I like but what Teddy says, like Bob's like, why do men have to ruin everything? And Teddy's like, I don't know, but we do. He's like, this and all of the war.
Totally.
Or he's like, all of the war and this. I'm like, oh yeah. Shout out to men.
We just need a woman president. You know? I want a dyke for president.
I mean, sometimes you say things and it comes off, and I know what you mean, and other people probably won't.
Okay, people who really know me.
I was like,
at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. When people say anyone who really knows me, I hate it because it's just I'm saying that's why you're saying it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's such a pet peeve.
Well, I'm not saying it because it's a pet peeve of yours.
But you know it's not. No, but you're saying it because you feel similarly to how I do about it.
Yeah.
Like you probably don't feel as strongly as I do about it, but
people do it. It feels like a thing. It's like just be more careful about your language the first time, and then you won't have to say that afterwards.
Right. But I hate when people are like, anyone who knows me. And I'm like, usually if you're saying that, you're addressing people who don't know you. So what difference does it fucking make?
Right.
It's like being like, in my private life. Like, okay.
Yeah.
No one would know that.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
anyone who really knows me knows that I fart constantly.
That is true.
So.
Captain Ron's glass eye, though. So let's just say the plot of the movie. I think we've done so little talking about Captain Ron because I feel like there's not much.
Yeah.
I mean, like plot wise, there's not much about the actual movie. So the plot is basically Martin Short inherits a boat from his uncle and convinces his family to sail to like fly to this island where his uncle lived, get the boat, and then sail back to the U.S. Mm-hmm. And he hires Captain Ron, played by Kurt Russell, to be his boat captain and like teach him how to like take care of a boat while he's sailing them back to the U.S. I forgot what they were actually. I was like, teach him how to. What movie is this? And like, you know, Kurt Russell is someone who's really annoying and they don't like him. And he's not really doing anything wrong. He's just not middle class, so they're really annoyed by his behavior.
Well, it's also continuously unclear if he's sort of like a con artist or just bad at doing what he does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, also, I don't know. There, in some ways, I'm like, this is like, he'll be like, oh, I know how to but I don't feel like the con artist thing makes much sense because he always gets them out of, like, if they get into a situation, he always gets them out of it. And he's always like, oh yeah, that'll happen sometimes. But like there are times when I'm like, he's just fucking dyslexic or whatever. You know? Like, and I'm not saying that as like a joke. I mean like him being like, oh yeah, like he like takes him to the wrong island because he like got a little bit turned around. And he's like, oh, this happens to me all the time. And I'm like, that implies not that you don't know where you're going. It's that you get confused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, like, and he seems so...
It is implied that it's like he knows this about himself, and so he has coping mechanisms, kind of.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, he's found a way. He deals with it. He's like, yes, this happens to me. And, like, okay, we'll just fix it. And, like, everyone else is like, but this puts me out.
Well, everything's cool, boss. It's like I told you. You know, we get lost, all we gotta do is ask. What? Yeah, well, San Juan. It's behind us, about 20 miles. But, you know, hey, listen, the good news is that General Armando hardly blames you at all. You know, I explained it to him. It's the tides, man. They can either work for you or they can work against you. You know, the second I saw Clarice, I knew where we was, because, you know, confidentially, I've had these problems with the tides before.
I guess I'm sensitive, because it feels like neurodivergence versus neurotypical, you know, in a sense of like someone not doing something, performing, and it also feels classist too, because it's like what I assume is he's like mostly self-taught and mostly like has learned from experience and not necessarily gone to like he's poor. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't own anything. He does not, you know, he just like does this thing where he just like helps, like he sort of just like takes on odd jobs to like get by.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, he's constantly treated like a piece of shit because he doesn't present himself as an expert, but I mean, he presents himself as knowing what he's doing, but he doesn't present himself as pretentiously expert about something.
Yeah,
like he wasn't as unsympathetic as I think he's supposed to be for me. Like, you know, I never distrusted him in that way.
Like the ending where you see him with a different couple, right? And then the joke that comes back about him saying that he piloted the Saratoga. Mm-hmm. But then that's sort of questioned. I mean, it's everything he says about his experience is suspect, is how it's treated.
Yeah.
From the audience perspective, right. I feel like.
Well, but they don't give a reason for that, except for that exactly. He looks like, that's what I mean about classist. Like, he looks like he's not well put together. So it's like, he must be lying. And it's like, what? Why would he? Why? And if he is lying, it's like, okay, so he said he was on the Saratoga because no one would hire him otherwise, but he's still doing the job. And he still knows how to do the job. And things that get fucked up are not his fault. You know? So it's confusing.
Except for the gorillas.
But it's not.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He offers them a ride and trades.
No, he trades them.
Yeah.
And for he trades them a ride for guns. Martin Short gets mad and throws the guns overboard and says, what did you trade them guns for? And he's like, for a ride. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, that's fine. We'll just give back the guns and then we don't have to do anything. And he's like, oh. So it's not fully his fault. I mean, yeah, he probably shouldn't have made that trade. But he made that trade under the guise of getting protection.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not, and like, you know, there could be lots of conversations around, because he's like, pirates are a real threat. And, you know, he's like, we would need guns. Like, it's better to have guns to protect ourselves if we run into pirates. Like, that's going to be a legitimate danger. And Martin Short doesn't believe him, throws the guns overboard. And then they end up having to give a ride to the gorillas. And then he they run into pirates and they don't have a way out. So like all of his ways to like try to help them or protect them aren't bad. Like I mean, like, you know, like I'm not saying guns are great or whatever, but like he has forethought. He has, you know what I mean? He's doing things because he's like, oh, this is going to be something beneficial in the future. Like this is going to, and like even like with the boat, he's like, you have to make sure that you put oil in it every single day, or it's going like the engine will like blow up basically, and it will be useless. And Martin Short tries to give his kid that job, and he's like, no, this needs to be your job because it's a little too important. And then Martin Short doesn't do it correctly, you know? So it's like he doesn't actually do anything to fuck anything up. It's
true.
You know, they just judge him so harshly.
Corrected.
Yeah, and I'm not,
I guess, yeah.
But I'm also not
saying.
New
reading. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm not saying he's even that redeemable though. It's just like all the things that are presented.
Yeah.
Like there's things that he does that aren't great, but like the things that are presented as not great are things that it's like he's just not being taken at his word.
Right.
And it's like I don't have sympathy for you ignoring him.
For disbelieving.
You know?
Yeah. That's a good point. Now I read it as more like that makes it more of the clash of cultures where you're just not listening to the person who's this is their life.
Right.
You're the outsider.
Correct.
So
exactly.
you should be.
Yes. Like clear like you're taking someone that literally knows how to do this. And you're saying because you don't look like me and you don't act like me, a person who has no experience in doing this thing, I don't trust that you know what you're doing, which is middle class, upper class, 100%. Well, like, that's how that is.
Whiteness in general.
Well, whiteness, too, yeah. Whiteness across the board.
Compared
Upticked with middle class.
Yeah. Upgraded to...
Yeah.
First class. First class whiteness. Compared to the white outsider saviorness of Club Paradise.
Yeah.
Which, again, well, whatever. I don't need to rehash that movie.
Although I do like, oh my God, my tongue just got a tickle. You know that thing where it's like, oh. I do like the part where Martin Short, like Mary Kay Place, is saying like she doesn't know if they should fire Captain Ron because he just like saved them from like, you know, during this, like he, like they ran out of fuel, but he gets them to the island in time for them to like, you know, and she's like, we shouldn't fire him after he, you know, got us here safely, you know.
Honey, I just don't think we can fire him now because he got us through the storm.
Catherine, he almost got us killed in that storm. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. I really did. You know, it's just that you don't totally understand, I don't think. He's eating my brain.
It had to be pointed out to me in the trivia that Snake Plissken also wears an eye patch.
When they're in the lifeboat, when pirates take their ship from them.
In the middle of, God knows if we're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yes. This is my fucking favorite line from Archer. You said previously on Wings, and I lost it.
You did. That made me feel good.
The whole entire movie, I just kept wanting to be like, Maria! Because Mary Kay Place.
Oh, yes.
Plays Maria Bamford's mother in Lady Dynamite. And in the show, Maria Bamford's dogs talk to her in a French accent.
Well, the one is, I think, supposed to be German.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That one.
You're right. Yeah, that would make more sense. That it's voiced by...
Blueberry is supposed to be French. And What's his name?
That would... Werner Herzog is...
Yeah. Yeah, it's really...
Maria!
I could not think of Mary Kay plays his character being
I know.
anything but a younger version of that one from Lady Dynamite.
Also, this scene where like Martin Short like threatens his daughter or something like that. She's like, "Dad, you're embarrassing me," and he's like, "If you don't get on the boat, like I'll do more than embarrass you." And I was like, "LOL." Like,
yeah, I know.
Martin Short, come on.
Right, but 100% something my dad would say.
But I mean, like, I just even as a dad, like, I can't imagine Martin Short saying that.
That's one thing. I mean, I think I said when it was over, it was a lot more vanilla than I expected it to be, which is not great shorthand. But I meant like,
I know.
it was like too clean almost. I like Martin Short and Kurt Russell and
I know
island hopping.
I remembered it being
hijinks.
a lot bluer
Yeah.
than it was.
And not much physical comedy from Martin Short, which was a little disappointing.
Although I did enjoy when he gets
He's very restrained.
when he gets thrown off the boat because of the sand, like the electric sander. He's he just the way that looks is really funny to me. I wrote down, and this is something that I'm confused on. Martin Short is very weird looking, but he's also like so tiny and like and weird looking that I'm like, am I attracted to Martin Short? Like, I really don't know. Like, it's not like John Lithgow where I'm like, am I attracted to John Lithgow? And really all I needed was someone else being like, you are too, for me to be like, oh yes, I'm attracted to John Lithgow. Martin Short, I'm literally like, is there something?
Sometimes, probably. You know,
yeah, because I think it's so hinged on the fact that he's like
funny.
He's just a weird looking little guy, you know. That he's a little guy. That it's so like I'm like, is it that I'm attracted, or is it like a fetishy thing where I'm like, oh, I could probably sit you on my knee, you know what I mean? Like that weird thing where I'm like,
you on my knee,
my me. I would never say something like that. But yeah, that's all my notes. I've exhausted my notes.
The quote Pirates of the Caribbean that come after them, their boat is called I wrote it down wrong, so I gotta look up the actual word. Albondigas, which is Spanish meatballs.
That's funny. That sounded so sarcastic.
Kind of tapas.
Yeah. Yeah, there was like weird, like it was definitely that weird sort of like anything not United States is scary kind of thing. Like, what do you call it?
How about the sequence when they get to Cuba?
Mm-hmm. That was a weird
That was a little like, what?
Okay. Yeah.
This is a little more height of Cold War than it should be for 1992.
I know.
We're in Cuba?
Wouldn't you just know it?
So bad about Cuba.
Yeah, I agree with Caroline. It's land.
Yeah.
You're now agreeing with someone whose worldview is based on I Love Lucy reruns. The world's changed a lot since Ricky Ricardo. Trust me.
Honey, they did the Today Show in Cuba.
My grandpa's Cuban.
Shout out to Grandpa
Potato.
Potato.
Yeah. I mean, technically, he's not my biological grandpa, but he is Cuban. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's like, oh, Cuba. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's
why is that
weird.
Okay.
I mean, it's really only Martin Short's character.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. He's like, this is, but still, like, everyone's like, yeah, I think you're overreacting. But it's weird that it's given any screen time. Like, there's not, I don't know. It's confusing. It's like, I don't really understand. Yeah. And, like, the Coast Guard saves them in the end.
Yeah.
But because of Captain Ron.
Yeah.
Not because of Martin Short.
He also saves them at Cuba.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. every step of the way. And that's a weird thing where like it's very like he pretends he has a broken leg so Martin Short can appear to save the day, but he's the one that actually does it. He just makes it look like Martin Short did something because Martin Short is so fucking inept at every single thing, and just like, but it's like it's not that he's incapable, it's that he like refuses to do anything. And like literally Captain Ron has to pretend his leg is broken for Martin Short to even try to help out. And like there's like an aspect of that where I'm like yeah, it doesn't even feel like it's a toxic masculine. I mean, a little bit, yeah, but it doesn't even feel like it's saying that. It feels like it's literally him being like, as much as Martin Short is like distrusting of Captain Ron, he also puts everything on him.
Yeah.
To take care of everything. Like, I don't want to have any issues if you're in charge. And everything has to go smooth. And it's like, it's a weird thing. Like, there was a lot to it that I was like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be, like, why I'm supposed to not like Captain Ron.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why he's
true.
like supposed to be this like untrustworthy person who at every turn he fixes every issue that happens, even if he caused it. But even if he caused it, he's not like, that wasn't my fault. He's like, oh yeah, it happens to me.
Right.
You know, I can fix it. It's not, he's not, it's weird. It was a very weird, like, yeah, and I remember thinking of him more as like a creepy, you know, because that's how they present it, but he doesn't actually do anything. Like, he's just like, I don't know. It was very weird. It was very weird.
It is a little
And there's
weird.
really not much to it other than them sailing to pretend islands.
Yeah.
And thinking it's a different pretend island.
And then at the end, they, you know, because the plan is to sell the boat. Yeah. Not sail.
Sail and then sail.
To Paul Anka.
Oh, right. Paul Anka. Oh, my God. Remember how we were like, who's this fucking guy? And then I was like, he looks like someone, and I couldn't place it. And I was like trying to figure out who it is, and you're like, that's Paul Anka. And I'm like, that's who he looks like.
I was like, who's this guy who's
He looks like Paul Anka.
the son of Tom Jones and Rob Schneider or Dan Castellaneta?
I think Rob Schneider is closer.
Yeah, maybe.
Because of the eyes.
My three dads. But they're pulling in the port, and then they're like, fuck it, never mind. We'll just continue to live this way.
Yeah. Right, which is like, what? I would not.
Very strange.
I mean, it's fine if they don't want to sell the boat.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell the boat. You don't have to, like, take a boat that's engine doesn't actually work anymore out to sea. Like, what? I don't know. Whatever. And, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly.
Yeah. I don't want to say I was disappointed because I was. Yeah, it wasn't. I was, like I said, I was expecting it to be way more like offensive and like, like little like more, you know, have like a lot of like jokes about a lack of consent or, you know, like it didn't, and so I was like, oh, this is not. It probably seemed more of a big deal because I was like 8 when I watched it for the first time.
Yeah, right. The trivia also said that a lot of Captain Ron's wardrobe came from Kurt Russell's wardrobe, his personal effects, and things like the voice he does and wearing a red Speedo were his idea. And that he had some concern about, because there's a scene where he's playing Monopoly with the son, and he's like, get your own beer.
Yeah.
So he had some concern about the character encouraging underage drinking.
Yeah, that's probably, weirdly, that's probably, and I feel like it's almost, truly, I do feel like it's semi-uncharacteristic for Captain Ron. Because he is very careful, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, to be mindful of things Not even like mindful. Mindful isn't even, it's just like he's aware. Like, you know, he knows how to talk to the kids. He knows how to like engage with them. Like when the kid's like, oh, he's like, you can be on trash duty. And he's like, trash duty. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and if you do that, you get a promotion to this. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he just like leaves and he's like, yeah, you have to give them. And like like it implies he has a familiarity with working with kids, you know, and like dealing with children.
Yeah. So
like it does feel slightly out of place that he's like suddenly like, have a beer, you know?
Yeah.
A little bit, but whatever. I was going to say something. I don't remember.
Like, it's kind of a recurring joke that the teenage daughter is, like, trying to hook up or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not... Surprisingly, they don't do a thing where it, like, means she's in danger.
Right.
And needs to be rescued.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't fall into those certain...
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, like, interesting. It's interesting. And they don't really have, like, conflict in their marriage, really. It's not a thing where, like, they're fighting all the time. And like, it's weird. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, I know because you said.
It's the notes you don't play.
Kurt Russell provided his majority of his own wardrobe. That is for the same, that reminded me of, Rock and Roll High School.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Riff Randall.
Yeah. Riff Randall. Like spent all she made on the movie on her own wardrobe for the movie.
Right.
That I think she kept
all
afterwards.
$200 or whatever she got for it?
No, it was like $2,000.
Oh, okay.
And then she spent it all on clothes.
Fuck yeah.
Supposedly she got to a jacket right before
like Elton John or somebody?
No. It's oh god, I can't. I know what is Rod
Stewart.
Yes. Oh my god, I was like Rod Sterling is not correct, but that's the only thing. Rod Stewart, yeah.
Ron
she
Cadillac.
like got to a jacket, like he was like reaching for it and she grabbed it right before he got to it. And it was like the last one available, which is hilarious.
That fucking shiny silk.
Yes.
Letterman jacket style.
Yeah. Or I think it was one of those. I think she wears like a couple different types of shiny Letterman jackets. But yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Captain Ron. It's a movie from the 90s.
It's a fine family movie.
It's a family film. It has one F word and a couple titties in it.
Which escaped my radar, so
You'll have to take some screenshots for Instagram. Just kidding. You can
It won't work on Tumblr though.
Also, let me just say this. When they're in the shower and Captain Ron comes in and there's like the clear it's not clear, but it's like the what's it called? When they do
translucent. It's like frosted.
Frosted glass, yeah. And you can see like their frames, but not like you know.
Yeah.
Martin Shore's body, it's like where his like swim shorts line is so like the difference in his skin color is noticeable through that frosted glass. Like
I thought you could see a tan line on her too.
You can, but like it's just a tan line on him. It's literally like that section of his body fully disappears and just looks like it's frosted glass. Like it's just gone. I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Also, the shower scene was, I mean, obviously it was formative for me because it has a titties in it. But it was also like this, I mean, they get trapped in a tiny shower, which is
a
not
nightmare.
good. It's awful. Having, in the 10 years I've lived here, I've had 2 partners.
Slut.
Who I've had intimate showers with in a very tiny shower. And when I say intimate, I mean because it was enclosed space. Like there was no, it's like trying to have like shower sex in a shower the size of a box is not possible. Like I don't really know how people, I mean, I'll be frank, I don't know how people have shower sex.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying I don't know how it's possible. Water's going up someone's nose. Water's just getting it's just no. It's not that fun either. And then I'm like, oh, we're wasting water just.
Yeah. How long is the hot water gonna last?
Yeah, like oh god, and it's just like this thing where I think about the planet,
Soap
and then it's
burns.
like, yeah, your pee hole. If you're Keith.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway. Yeah.
You heard it here first, people. Soap burns my pee hole. Echo, I need to tell you something.
Echo. I'm here to save you. Great.
Also Joe versus Volcano. That's all.
What?
I just remembered.
Anyway.
I feel like we should watch this. Captain Brown would be a good double feature with Overboard, maybe.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we should watch that.
It's on the list.
Oh,
and
it is?
I have it.
You have it? Oh, my God. I had no idea. Okay, yeah. Let's do that. For sure.
And Kurt Russell.
Oh, that's right.
Also, the trivia said that, like, once Kurt Russell was cast, it was considered to call in John Carpenter to direct.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
And
that would have been
since
really
then,
interesting.
Carpenter has said, yeah, he would have agreed just to have an excuse to be in the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Humid, tropical places are not places I fantasize about being.
That's why you go in winter.
What do you mean?
Don't question it.
Awesome. I'm good.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Have a great day.
Sail, let the Orinoco flow. Let me reach, let me beach on the shores of Tripoli. Let me sail, let me crash upon your shore. Let me reach, let me beach far beyond the yellow sea.